Hey guys, how you doing? Gonna do a couple contest entries since they're pretty much overlap each other. I'm just gonna do it in one shot. Hopefully it's okay. Anyway, I got one from Jeremy Ginger, his 200 sub one, and he asked about soundtracks that we feel were as good or better than the movie that went with them. I found out I did have a fair amount of soundtracks, and also found out that in 3/4 of the soundtracks I have, I've never seen the movies to. So, I can't use a lot of what I got here, and I even thought of a few that I've heard the soundtrack but don't have it, and I've seen the movie, and I think the soundtrack stands up to the movie. So, I can't show them because I don't have them. Two of which I thought of offhand are the movie FM from the late 70s, the movie that the WKRP in Cincinnati TV show was based on, with Martin Mull. That also had a lot of famous stars in it from the day. I don't know, REO Speedwagon and Tom Petty and Jimmy Buffett. I think Linda Ronstadt was in it. I haven't seen it in a while. That soundtrack definitely stands up with the movie, if it not better. And this is Spinal Tap, obviously. Unfortunately, I don't have either one of those, so I can't show them. But as far as ones that I do have, that I do think stand up, this is probably the best one. And it is a concert anyway, so obviously it's close. But being how much of an influence it had on me as a person, as a kid growing up, it basically made me fall in love with the group just from seeing this movie several times, and it's The Last Waltz by the band. A lot of guest people on here, Clapton, Neil Diamond, Bob Dylan, Emmylou Harris, Dr. John, Joni Mitchell, Van Morrison, as well as the band songs. But as a whole, I think both the soundtrack and the movie are way out. They're not much better as far as concert films go, so definitely I would pick this one. I'd have to say, even though, for me anyway, I loved Let It Be. I know this isn't a true soundtrack, but being that it went with the movie, I threw it in here anyway. But I just loved watching the whole process of how they interacted and what was going on at the time. Kind of for me, being in band practice back when I was younger with all the other people, and dealing with personalities and all that, and of course this time it was the Beatles. But I really love most of the tunes on here, and even though this has the overproduced version of it, this is what I'm used to, so this is what I like. That one, as far as Beatle movies go, is the one that I think fits that the best. This one's pretty close. I mean, classic high school movie, and this came out in '83 when I was a junior in high school, so it was perfect for me. And there's a lot of good stuff on there, pop and rock and what have you. A lot of different famous people. You got Jackson Browne, Jimmy Buffett, Sammy Hagar, Coco, Quarter Flash, Joe Walsh, Donna Summer even, Billy Squier. Good mix of songs, and of course everybody knows and loves this movie, but I think song-wise, it's a good combination of both, and it fits it perfectly. Alright, so I'm going to get to a bunch of the other soundtracks that I have right now to go with the other one. This is Frank, channel 33 RPM. Frank has share about soundtracks and favorites. I'll throw which ones that I really like out of the ones I'm going to show, but I'm going to go through a lot of them. I'm just going to go fairly quick. And the ones I have something to say, I'll say about. But I actually realized I had a lot more than I thought I did, mainly because I mixed in soundtracks with the artists. If the soundtrack was primarily one artist, I would put it with their stuff as opposed to with the soundtracks. So I had a lot more than I thought I did. I'm going to go in whatever order these are in. So you'll get what you get in whatever order. But apparently I had Beatles stuff on the top, so you got Yellow Submarine, This is a red label Capitol version, and interesting cartoon, interesting story. I haven't seen it in a long time, but definitely like that one. And then I have Help, and this is a purple label, Purple Capitol, and this one, and Rubber Soul. And what was the other one? One other one. I bought all three of them at the same time in 1978. Right when they came out with this version of the reissues. I remember buying them all at the same time. But anyway, Help, goofy movie, good songs on here. Here's another one. Back when I brought up about the Last Waltz, what I was going by was back when I was a teenager, we'd actually gotten cable for first time. We were like one of the early groups to get cable, and there was a movie pay channel, which it might have been HBO, I don't remember, and they showed movies, but the problem is they didn't have many, so they showed a lot of them all over and over again, and this one was on a lot. This is actually from 1980, and I'm not really a big fan of him, but because I saw this movie a lot, I got the soundtrack. It was cheap. It was like used for $1 anyway, but I wanted to have it just kind of for memory. And it's the jazz singer. So I guess the musician thing probably stuck with me, what have you, but I like the story. And I don't mind some of the songs on here. So, jazz singer. Now here's a movie that, if you like sci-fi movies from the early 80s, maybe you like this, but didn't do much for me, but it's Flash Gordon, but it's a Queen album, and it's got Flash and a few other songs on here and a lot of movie music, but I like this copy. It's got extra stuff in it. With this picture and a card on it, and a picture sleeve. Anyway, definitely better, like the music more than the movie itself. But I have that. Electric Dreams, which is kind of a weird movie. Computer Love from 1984, which wasn't much computerized in 1984, but it was an interesting movie. And there's some Jeff Lynne songs on here from ELO. There's also Culture Club and some movie music and stuff on here. So some of this is okay. Anyway. Electric Dreams. Here's another one from the early HBO days that they've sailed to death, but I didn't mind because it was Olivia. This movie probably made me, at least for a while, fall in love with the 80s Olivia Newton-John. Xanadu. And this movie was pretty lame, but when you're a kid and you're falling for Olivia, put yourself in that position, being the guy, and you kind of fall into the story and all that. And half of it is ELO, and there are some pretty good tunes on that. But I do like Olivia's voice, and I do like some of her songs. So there's a bunch of stuff in here that's kind of cool. Another movie I've never seen, got as a promo when I worked at the record store in the 80s. It's Ray Davies' Return to Waterloo. It's kind of like a combination Ray Davies solo album and Kinks album, because there actually is Kinks members on here. So it's sort of like a Kinks album, but if you listen to it from beginning to end, it's more about it. It sounds more like a Ray Davies solo album. But like I said, never seen the movie. It's from '85, and there's that. Here's one of my hometown heroes, Chuck Van Jones, which everybody knows from the Feel So Good song that was played to death in 1977. This is from a movie from kind of like a biography called The Children of Sanchez. It came out in '78, and this is all music from the movie, and it's a double LP, and the inside actually has like a cover on the inside the cover. It's actually a hard cover, so I actually had to put sleeves inside, so the records didn't get killed. But good orchestral jazz type stuff. But once again, I've never seen this movie either. Here's an interesting one. This is McVicker, starring Roger Daltrey, one of the many movies he did. I believe he was an inmate in this one, as you can tell. Never saw this movie, but I remember seeing the video for the song Free Me and really digging it. And so I think I bought the single, like the flip side, so I found a copy of the album and bought the album. It's got a nice silver cover on it. Picture sleeve, movie shots and all that. It's on Polydor. Overall, there's good songs on here. It's pretty much just Daltrey tunes, not so much movie music, instrumental stuff. Another movie I've never seen, British invasion movie from the 60s, Ferry Across the Mersey. This is mostly Jerry and the Pacemaker tunes, but there are a few songs by a couple groups that didn't do anything, like Black Knights and the Blackwells. There's a few hits on here. Ferry Across the Mersey and It's Gonna Be Alright was a single, and it's what you would expect from British invasion stuff on the Black United Artists label. And this is actually a mono copy, but it's British invasion pop rock, and it's all songs. There's no movie music like the Beatles ones. So it's a nice listen for that kind of stuff. Next one, Elton John, Friends. Another one he did. It's all him, so there's no movie music or anything. There's a few songs from earlier albums and then some newer ones on here, but it's early Elton John, so it's the good stuff. Never seen this movie either. Apparently it's some kind of love story thing. This is a reissue, so I'm not going to bother to show it. So there's that one. Here's one I haven't had very long. It's actually a Love and Spoonful album, but it's a full soundtrack, and this actually does have movie music on it. You're a Big Boy Now. And I don't know anything about this movie. I recognize a few of the characters. It says it was written and directed by Francis Ford Coppola, so obviously this was an early film of his. Can only imagine. There's a song called Darling Be Home Soon that was a hit for them, I remember. A ballad. And there's that one. Another one I've never seen that I would kind of like to see. Sounds like it'd be really strange and interesting. Head, Monkeys. This is not an original, this is a Rhino. They put the thingy on there too, that was the sticker from the album. But you see it's the Rhino. Hard to find, the original one cost some bucks. But the interesting thing about this album is it actually combines real songs with clips from the movie, actually talking clips. So it's an interesting listen from beginning to end. But yeah, I'd like to see this movie someday, see how weird it is. Okay. Now this I picked up Goodwill. Never seen this movie. Apparently it's a war movie. And it's all this in World War II. And what this is basically was a movie that is a war movie that they use Beatles songs to tell the story. Sounds like an interesting concept. I'm not sure how well it worked out on screen because I've never seen it. It's a gatefold, but it's got a lot of famous people from the 70s playing on here. Elton John, Ambrosia, Bee Gees, Leo Sayer, Brian Ferry, Keith Moody even does a song. Jeff Lynne's on here. Status Quo does a song in here. Tina Turner, Peter Gabriel, even Helen Reddy. And then it's got a little movie music in here too, but it's all versions of Beatle tunes. And there's a nice booklet that comes with it. It's got lyrics and paintings of artists that are in here. This is real nice. But like I said, never seen the movie. I didn't even know about it until I found the soundtrack. But the soundtrack's not bad. It's kind of interesting. There's some interesting versions of Beatles tunes on here. This one, never seen, never heard of until I found it. Got this as a promo at the record store in '85. Mostly instrumental music, but the music is Lee Ritenour. If you know jazz guitar, you know who he is. So it's a lot of kind of fusion-y more mainstream instrumental rock kind of stuff. So it's not bad for the background extra music. And then also CCR, Chris Isaak has a song on here, and Danny Hutton from Three Dog Night, and Glenn Sharrock, who was the singer for Little River Band, has a song on here. He does the theme actually. And I guess this was an early Kevin Costner movie, as you can see. So like I said, don't know the movie, but the soundtrack's pretty good. And here's one that I grew up with, and it's not a movie soundtrack, it's more like a Broadway soundtrack. There was a movie of this, but it came later, and I actually like this version better, because Ian Gillan is Jesus much better than the Neely guy from the movie. And I like this version a lot better musically. But my mother bought this when we were kids, and used to play it a lot, and at a certain point, when we got a little older, we used to actually sing to it in Easter time, and I would get the Jesus part usually because I was older. But this is the box version. It's in great shape. There's labels, and I'll get the book with it. So obviously, dig that one. Another 80s movie, teen type movie that I just got a free promo of when I worked at the record store. Secret Admirer. It's another one that's all songs by people. Tony Carey, Kim Wilde, Don Felder from the Eagles, Dan Stevenson, Climax, the 80s soldier, Timothy B. Schmidt from the Eagles. Not a bad listen. Once again, haven't seen the movie. Another one I haven't seen that I got a promo off with the record store. Apparently this was a hockey movie. It was Patrick Swayze and then Rob Lowe, and then some chick who used to be on the TV show Fame that I haven't seen do anything. Another one from the mid-80s. 80s pop rock type stuff on there. Not bad. Picture sleeve, artists are on there. Pictures from the movie Youngblood. Somebody just talked about this. I don't remember who it was, but this was apparently a movie about the end of the world from 1982. So the world should be already over by now, according to this movie. Obviously, we're still here, so it didn't happen. But this is all kind of early 80s electronic movie stuff. And if you like that kind of stuff, it's a nice listen. I have a bunch of Synergy albums, so this fits in with them pretty well. Like a nice cover. Passport Records, which most of the Synergy stuff is on. So there's that. Another movie I've never seen I would love to see. Frank Zappa, 2000 Motels. This copy's pretty beat, I need a new one, but it's Zappa, so I'm sure the movie is out there. There's Gatefold. And it's Zappa. And if you know who Zappa is, you know what I'm talking about. Interesting one. Rick Wakeman, White Rock. Now this looks more like Rick Wakeman's album, the keyboard player from Yes. But actually, if you read, this is actually the theme for the '76 Olympics. So all this music was written and used in the movie that was made after for the Olympics. So it does really sound like a Rick Wakeman album if you know what his '70s album sounded like. But apparently all the music was used in this movie. And there's some pictures of some of the games there and stuff. And not bad. Fits in with his other albums pretty well. Alright, that's it for albums. Now I'll show you this in between because we've been listening to it. This is my only soundtrack on cassette. This is Days of Thunder, Tom Cruise racing movie. And we've been listening to songs by Cher, Chicago, David Coverdale, Guns N' Roses, Joan Jett, Elton John, Tina Turner, John Waite from The Babies, and a few other ones that nobody knows. But like I said, it's the only one I have a cassette, but I do have it. Now, these are a couple 12 inches that I have from movies. I threw them in because they're from movie or TV shows. Miami Vice theme. A few different versions of it on here, but for TV show themes, it's not a bad one, and I got it as a promo for nothing. So Another promo I got in the mid-'80s. If anybody remembers the movie Spies Like Us, I'm sure nobody does. Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase. Paul McCartney did the theme. This is a 12-inch. There's another song in here called My Carnival. Here's the back. So I got that. Breakfast Club, I don't have the soundtrack, but I do have this 12-inch that has a Wang Chung song, which is actually a good song for them. And then somebody named Joyce Kennedy, who was the singer of a group called Mother's Finest in the 70s that was kind of like a half hard rock, half funk group. And then when they split up, A&M picked her up and tried to turn her into the next Janet Jackson. Though she's a lot better singer than Janet is. But it's also a song by her on there. It's not bad. And the last one is, actually I have the 45 from this. This was another show that's not a movie. It was a show called Chess, written by the two main guys from ABBA. And this was another single, as well as One Night in Bangkok, which I do have a single. That was the actual hit. This is a song called The Arbiter. That is not bad. That I got as a free promo and I kept it. So that's all my 12-inch stuff. So I'm going to cut this off as this. I might do a separate quick one for, I got a bunch of singles from movies too. I thought because we're doing a soundtrack thing, it might be kind of interesting to do that. So I may do a movie about that one, video. Anyway, that's it for my soundtracks. Channel 33 RPM and Jeremy Ginger. If you haven't checked them out, check them out. Like I said, Channel 33 RPM. That's his YouTube name, and Jeremy Ginger just under his name. Check him out if you haven't, and take care, everybody.